Hi guys, this is Andre. Welcome to the Marketing Innovation Podcast Show. I am the Director and Chief Marketing Officer of Marketiu, and today with me on the show we have Roland, our Alexa developer and voice specialist, and today we will discuss the main reason why voice is becoming the next marketing platform. Stay close. Hello everybody, welcome to today's podcast. I am Andre, Director of Marketiu. We are here today with Roland, our Alexa developer and voice specialist, and today we are gonna discuss the number one reason why voice is becoming the next platform. Okay, so diving straight into the subject. If you are in the business world, you have probably seen a very deep transformation in the past couple of years in regards to the ways in which technology is being built into marketing communications, as well as in the interaction from the brand with their customers and the dialogue that is being formed between the two. So in terms of the forms of media, there have been a couple of transformations in the past decades. So once with the rise of the internet, we have seen information being widely available to everybody and brands being able to communicate in a new way, a big change from how it was in the past. Then we have seen the rise in mobile developments and mobile devices, as well as social networks. So that was a big revolution again. This in the past couple of years has grown as well, with a video being very much consumed instead of written word, and brands capitalizing on this. And now we are just on the edge of a very, very big transformation again, with the rise of voice being integrated and voice assistants, more specifically, being integrated in the day-to-day lives of people. So today with Roland, we are going to discuss from a technical perspective as well from a strategic perspective how this is going to work and why we believe this is going to be a very, very big opportunity for brands in terms of communications, marketing, and raising sales ultimately. So Roland, how does this revolution look like from your perspective? What do you think is the most interesting aspect
I think
at
that
the moment?
It's very likely that in the next 2 to 5 years we will be looking at the Alexa platform and Google Assistant platform the same way we now look at mobile operating systems. So if you think of it, IoT, the whole trend connected devices would be built on top of these backbones that will be cloud services and will share data and will share the same knowledge between all of them. What I would say is that companies now are putting a lot of bets in the space with smart speakers, and their goal would be to be able to connect not only single devices, but create a whole ecosystem where the devices know about your business, know about your daily lives, and they can help you optimize stuff in your daily routines.
I see. So ultimately, you think that this is a very good moment in time and in the technological revolution, to call it so, where this actual integrated system can actually be implemented in our day-to-day lives and in our lifestyle, right? So you think that possibly the voice element would be the frictionless element that is missing today in the system of omni-channel communications and brands understanding customers' needs almost real time.
Exactly, yes. The assistant will be our companion. As the iPhone is our daily companion, the assistant will replace that, and it will know how to present information and optimize processes for our best moments in time and results. So brands will have to understand that the future marketing is one-on-one, and the best platform for this would be through voice assistants. And voice assistants will know when you need a certain product or certain service, or who you need to call if you want to fix something or buy something.
Understood. Actually, I was just doing a bit of research in the past week, and I saw, capitalizing on what you said now, that the voice assistant will know what you need, etc., and where to look for this information. Our listeners are probably accustomed to Gary Vaynerchuk, and him being an ambassador of voice as well. And he was mentioning he was also having a chat with some industry leaders, and they were talking about professional services being a very big opportunity for voice in terms of creating this interaction, because you will, as a customer, be able to access these professional services and being almost taught how to do something yourself, or how to get some information specialized through the voice assistant. So yeah, a really interesting point there. And also another point that I wanted to go through with you, because you mentioned that the assistant will know how to, exactly what we need and how to access these. Let's discuss this, because maybe some of our listeners won't know how this information is being gathered and implemented. So let's discuss a bit about this integration, how the voice devices and assistants will be integrated with other technologies that we use currently. So for example, such as our phones or our browsing history, or maybe other devices within our house.
This will be the end of the 2.0 web, and that means that all these services and big apps on the web are able to give a lot of freedom for other services to use their APIs and have request and response activities with that brand. So that means that Alexa will be able to have requests and get information out of websites, get information out of apps, out of payment services, out of everything. So Alexa will become a new interface with this new brand or this company or this app to achieve the same actions. If you think of Uber, you can call an Uber online, you can call it on your app, or you can call it via your voice. So that's how I think brands could capitalize on it. They could just create a new voice first interface for the same services they're at the moment presenting online.
Awesome. Yeah, really, really interesting stuff. And also because, again, we are very much interconnected at the moment, so there is a lot of data being captured about us even now. So presumably having some devices that currently listen to us through our day-to-day lives, and also are being integrated into that system, will probably fill in a gap. And yeah, definitely, I think it's something to look for. And also, yeah, going back to Gary, because this was also one of our inspirations when we opened up to this new kind of like niche with our agency and developing more. Let's go into why he and us believe that this is going to be, kind of like the next platform. What is different between voice and video or text or other things? And that, as we were discussing, is the frictionless element. So we do stuff without having to, without any friction, as well as gaining time. And I'll let you talk a bit more about it and how time is
Gary
being
is a
saved
big
through this kind of devices,
on
and
the,
why this is so important today.
Is the asset we are valuing the most. So money comes after that. So we pay for services that save us. We pay time we have while waiting for our Uber or in our Uber to get to the destination, instead of trying to go to take the subway or just drive, because it enables multitask and complete other tasks at the same time. And the way to go with voice is to think of it as a way optimizing or improving the time efficiency of a service. So let's take the ticket buying example. Let's say I want to buy a ticket for Mission Impossible, the new movie that just came out, and I'm not sure which one is the best deal in my city and which one is the closest to me. So an opportunity where brands could come in this would be to able to create a skill that knows your location, knows which theaters are around you and compare all the prices to these tickets. So you have off-peak and peak tickets. You can have recommendations in terms of daily deals or what day to go to the movie or how to save time and money on these tickets. So the assistant will do all the hard work in the back end while you just request the service through a command. So you say, show me the latest movies and the best times to go to them. And they will show you the most watched movies, the cheapest days and times where you can go to the movie, or the best deals if you have like family packs or you have a drink included or something like that. So if you try to automate a lot of the search we do online, even like voice search, you can ask a long query of a voice search instead of typing the whole thing, and the assistant can go open the link, extract the information and tell you instantly, right? So it saves you, this friction is basically gone.
And also I think that talking again about what we were discussing earlier, the level of customization and marketing being one-to-one, taking the premise that this device will know what you value most in a deal, or what are your interests and so on, and what purchases you have done previously. It basically can act as a recommendation tool that you can see on the website.
The assistant will be your own companion. It will be I wouldn't say the person, but it would be the technology that knows you the best, knows your habits, knows your preferences, so it will have the most accurate recommendations out of all your friends. If you think of it again, I think marketing and business is going back to recommendations and one-on-one processes. If you want to try a new restaurant, for example, you might ask a friend, and you trust a friend more than an online review of a stranger. And because your friend knows you and you are good friends with that person because of similarities between you two. So the assistant will be like a glove for you and will know what you need and when you need it, and will be able to pull information out of the web and present it to you, so you don't get overdrawn in loads of information or loads of choices. Like the biggest time wasting activity is trying to make a choice. If you have 10 theaters around you and you don't know which one is the best or which experience would be the most enjoyable for your family or kids, the assistant will be able to compare all these options and tell you exactly what you need.
Yeah, super cool. And now a couple of skeptics talk about the privacy issue, and how some people might be not willing to let a device listen to them and so on. But here we are talking about this thing after the same thing was with mobile devices and cookies and so on, so websites knowing about us. So it was a bit of resistance in the end, but then customers became okay with it while their journey was customized, because they could again save time as well as get better deals and so on based on their own interests. So I think that maybe this could be a barrier, but I don't think it's going to be something so powerful as it was in the past, because people already have gone over it in a certain way with e-commerce and so on, and web personalization.
Sure, yeah, for sure. Look at the online payment system, how it evolved. In 2000s, it was super scary to give your credit card details online and put it in a website. But now with all the security protocols behind it, like no one thinks twice about it, and they would just buy it instantly online, rather than trying to go to the shop and buy it in person. And the same would be with the assistant, because the assistant, even if it's recording your preferences and knows a lot about you, it will save you so much time. So the upside will be way higher than the risk it would involve. But I don't think there would be any risks, because these companies know how to implement security protocols and everything.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of like thinking from a customer perspective, because some of them may be more traditionalist than the others, and also I think it's worth mentioning that when we talk about customers and stuff, we mostly refer to the American market and the more Western market, so not as much as the non-very developed market. So we are talking here about the markets that already adopted mobile devices, mobile payments, and they have technology in their day-to-day lives. I wanted to talk a bit more about the opportunities for brands, because ultimately that's what got us so excited about the technology, because of the emerging opportunities for brands to make a difference into their customers' lives, as well as capitalize on this trend and earn more money through marketing the right way through these devices. So looking at this aspect, one of the challenges for brands will be optimizing their products and listings online, mainly in an e-commerce scenario, to make it easy for the assistant to find their products and the best match for the customer or the user of the voice platform. So we are planning to go more in depth on this in one of our next podcast episodes. But just to quickly mention it here before we go into the actual practical opportunities for brands to make a difference. This is something that brands should start thinking about now, because even if this is not being adopted very, very widely, still 1 in 4 mobile searches is being done through voice, and mainly in America, the e-commerce purchases for example, like smaller value products is quite high for new technology at the moment. So this is already happening, but it's still in the early stages where brands can actually make a big difference with not such a big cost. So let's talk about.
I would say that, regarding the voice e-commerce space, obviously Amazon is the biggest seller in the voice space, because they created the tech, and they know how to optimize, and they know how subscriptions on voice work and all these. And the big opportunities of e-commerce businesses would be to apply the same strategy and try to create consumable products that would become the default of that category. Let's say you want to buy toilet paper, and the assistant knows what brand you already want. So the strategy here for the brand would be to be able to scale up in the voice search and be able to become the default item for that category for as many people as possible.
Super cool. And also, again, because we were talking just a bit earlier in the episode about how these devices in the house will be linked to each other, and how, for example, the voice assistant will be able to interact with our smart TV or with our phone and so on. So kind of creating an ecosystem. And here, I think, again, it's a big opportunity for brands to kind of optimize all their communications, because, again, thinking from a customer's perspective, one of the examples that you mentioned and in our earlier discussions, and I found really interesting, is how, for example, somebody might see something on the TV, and they could say, for example, like, open this location and find me the best flights to this location, or who is this person, open their Instagram profile on my phone. So
yeah, an example we wrote in our first article was that your TV would be able to understand what is displaying and understand what you're referring to. So let's say you're watching a movie which is filmed in a very nice location, let's say in Greece or something like that. So you are super interested in the location, but you haven't been interacting with your TV in that kind of way. So you can just ask, where was this scene filmed at? And the assistant will say, oh, it was filmed in here more photos. No, okay. You haven't been really interacting in this medium So the new thing is that you haven't really been interacting with your TV in the way it will be possible in the future. So if you're watching a movie with a new actor, you can ask, who's this guy? open the Instagram on my phone, and the TV will be able to connect to your phone and send you all the details about the person. You can ask where was the scene filmed at, and you will be able to see flight tickets, even the cheapest flight tickets, and optimized prices to that location. And you can also have e-commerce through ads. Think of ads like the Super Bowl ads. You see all these new things playing and all these $1 million commercials, but you're not able to interact with them directly. You need to go on your laptop or try to open the website. But through this, you'll be able to interact with the ad instantly, and through a voice command to be able to buy the item on that second or open it in a new browser or something like that. That would be a very interesting space.
Yeah, and also I think that, well, in order to optimize this, there's going to be an additional level of data that will be required for a product such as a movie in order to make the TV understand
well, the thing is
what
that
the
it's
movie is about.
machine vision. Everything is machine vision. So the screen, what is displayed on the screen, let's say you take a screenshot and Google knows what is in that screenshot. They already use this in Google Lens. So if you take a photo of a Tesla, they know it's a Tesla, and they open more suggestions for the company, for Elon Musk, for recent stock prices and everything else, right? And for the TV as well, if you ask where was this scene filmed at, it will take a couple of screenshots. They will analyze the images, compare it with the Google Images search, and discover the place. And then they will be able to tell you all about the place, all about the flight tickets, all about the culture and everything else. So everything will be done through machine learning and machine vision. It won't be additional data transmitted through the TV, but it would work just a screenshot machine that searches for those items.
Okay, so it's not something super complicated for the things to come.
No, it's been applied. Google has been applying this for a couple of years now. So when it's gonna be perfected, I think that will be the big bomb of voice search and voice applications.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, it's definitely very interesting times coming. So again, I think we go back to the concept of convenience is king and time will always win.
For sure.
To quote again Gary on this, and probably due to this time earning convenient way of interacting and making purchases and finding friends and locations and so on, voice will scale up really quickly. And also, like, we can see the figures at the moment with it being adopted and so on. It's amazingly fast and amazingly high, and also the technology is evolving all the time. So it's gonna be, I mean, what we discuss now probably are gonna be maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years ahead of us, but certainly preparing for this now is a smart thing. So when everything is being perfected and done and adopted, then kind of companies can take advantage of this right there and then. Okay, so yeah, it was a really interesting episode. I think we can kind of wrap up here for the time being.
Sure,
maybe one thing to mention is that we are also expecting a release from Facebook in terms of the voice space. So so far we have the Google Assistant and Alexa from Amazon. So Facebook is preparing something to launch this year, which will certainly be an interesting thing to see. If it's gonna be in social media, if it's gonna be something else.
For sure, they're gonna go on the social media platform and connecting people. What I've seen from leaks is that they're gonna have an Alexa show kind of device that will be able to have FaceTime and voice chat activities as a priority. So through this device, you'll be able to always be up to speed with your friends and see what they're doing, and also interact with Messenger and hopefully with Instagram and WhatsApp if they create these interactions between the whole ecosystem of apps.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so yeah, one of the announcements also that we wanted to make, guys, for the ones of you listening, is that from this month onwards we are gonna be specializing a lot in voice technology. So we are preparing a couple of really exciting things here, which you will find out more about during the next episodes, as well as following us on social media, website, blog, and so on. We are putting resources on our blog as well, and soon video, in terms of new developments and things that you need to know as business owners or marketing professionals to keep yourself up to date, as well as capitalize on these trends. And now, from the agency that we were before, where we were specializing solely on digital ads and marketing strategy consulting and so on, and marketing automation, we are now opening the Marketiu voice sub-branch, where we will be specializing in strategy in terms of voice applications for brands, as well as developing technologies to help brands capitalize on this new environment. So this would be Alexa skills that people will be able to use to develop a new level of relationship and interaction with your brand, as well as help you as a brand become more successful in voice search when it comes to e-commerce, SEO, and so on and so forth. So any questions you might have, just feel free to reach out on any of our social media platforms, or write us at hello@marketiu.com, and we'll be happy to help you in all the ways that you need. So for the time being, I think we can wrap it up here. Roland, was a pleasure having you here.
A pleasure also.
And guys, keep close, and wishing you an awesome time. Have a great day.